Day 329 of Everyday Bible with Ada Ukabia. Galatians chapter 4, 5, and 6. We go open our lessons today from chapter 4, where Paul they remind the believers that although they were once spiritual minors, bound under rules and systems, God don't adopt them as his own children. But in verse 10, Paul can't give them sharp warning. He said, you are becoming slaves again by thinking your relationship with God depends on rituals, special days, religious calendars, and outward observances. This one be like somebody today where they think say God love them more because they fast 40 days, or because they attend every special church event, or because they follow every religious tradition, yet their heart is far from God. Paul, they warned that Christianity no be all about religious performances. Instead, now about relationships. All those ritualistic obedience what they do to the law, yes, they can help, but they cannot replace intimacy with God. As he continues in verse 18, Paul can tell the Galatians, say, being passionate they good, but only when that your passion they directed towards something where they good and godly. Some people are extremely passionate about things we know they build them at all. Like then go sit down for social media, they look for the trends, then go they gossip, then they do competition with waiting no even they important, or then they chase validation. Paul can they remind everybody, say zeal without godly purpose, it they lead to burnout, it they lead to distraction, it they even lead to frustration. But when you get zeal with the right purpose, like maybe you develop your character, you grow spiritual, or you serve others, that kind of zeal will lead to your transformation. That part, when they compare Hagar and Sarah, it make me sit down, make I think well, because Paul used a powerful analogy to compare these women to explain two spiritual conditions. Hagar, now the slave woman, she they represent Mount Sinai. She they symbolize the law. She they represent bondage. So children born from effort and human striving, now in this Hagar they represent a picture of people where they try to earn God's acceptance through their works. On the other hand, Sarah, the free woman, she they represent the covenant of grace. She they symbolize freedom. Children born through promise, representing believers who trust God's grace, not their own strength. A picture of spiritual identity and inheritance. So Paul, they tell everyone through they say, make we stop to live like children of the slave woman. Where would they struggle, would they try to perform? Instead, make we start to live like children of the free woman, trusting and resting in God's promise. For the next chapter, that is chapter 5, Paul they talk say, whether you they circumcise or abi you no they circumcise, meaning outward religious identity, it no matter. The only thing where they register before God, where they touch God's heart, now faith where they show through love. Your faith is not proven by your church attendance alone. It is not proven by your titles where you gather. It is not proven by your religious achievements. Now faith where they show people love when it is very hard to love them. Now faith where they show compassion. Now faith where they forgive. Now faith where they show act of integrity. And faith where they live like Christ. Now people they recognize. So true faith always flows outward in the form of love. If you are led by the Spirit, you are not under the law. Paul the talk say when the Holy Spirit lead your life, you no longer live under the pressure of rules. You know why? Because the Spirit they transform you from the inside. No be say they force you, but they change your desires. When the Spirit they lead you, peace go replace anxiety, self-control go replace impulses, purpose go replace confusion, grace go replace condemnation. So the Spirit they control and they supersede the physical. Your life begins to be shaped by God's voice, not by emotions, not by your environment, not even the expectations of people. In chapter 6, they try to teach us how we're supposed to live in community through accountability. Paul they talk say, if someone is caught in a sin, you where they spiritual, you should restore that person gently. Notice say he no talk say make you condemn them. He no talk say make you gossip about them. He no even talk say make you shame them or push them away. He say make you restore them gently with humility, remembering say you too you dey vulnerable. This is a picture of Christian maturity, correcting someone with love, not pride. Verse 6 of the last chapter of the Galatians today, they tell us make we share with our teacher. That verse that anyone who receives instruction in the word should share all good things with their instructor. Support those where they teach, where they mentor, where they build, and where they guide you spiritually. To support them means say you could encourage them. They may be through material gifts, financial support, or helping with tasks or any job, or even showing loyalty and gratitude. Paul, they simply teach us more with honor, appreciate those people where they invest in our growth. The way Paul can end that chapter 6 of Galatians, where he said, let no one cause me trouble, I beg. I bear on my body the marks of Jesus. He said he don't suffer for the gospel. He don't pay the price. And he know they do this one for approval. So stop questioning my authority. Now they tell the people. When you carry God's assignment, some people go to doubt you. Then go to criticize you. Then go try to discourage you. But Paul, they remind everybody, say, if you know who called you, you don't need applause or validation. Your scars, your experiences become your proof.